Good morning, Hamilton. This is Rob Golfi with ReMax Escarpment, the Golfi team. Welcome to the Hamilton Real Estate Show with Rick Zamprin.
Yes, good morning and happy anniversary to us here on the Hamilton Real Estate Show. This is show number 100.
Oh, my God.
I can't believe we hit this mark.
We made it.
Did you have any doubts?
There's, you know what? I'll tell you, there was when we were probably at the 70th show or the 30th show.
What are we talking about now?
Well, yeah, it is. Like it's it's difficult because we're selling.
The content's hard. It's
hard
to come up with good content, especially in real estate, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff to talk about, but in terms of differentiating from show to show, sometimes it is a challenge because there are some big news stories that you have to talk about and other things that you want to get creative. And I think we've done a great job of, just being three guys sitting around a table talking about specific issues and having great guests along the way as well.
Absolutely.
Some of the best shows are when we show up and we've done all this prep. And then there's a big news story that hits in the morning.
Kiboshes everything.
There's, all your prep's gone, and you're just talking about the biggest, the news story that morning, which is a lot of fun.
Perfect example of that is when we had the mayor on, and that was the day that Amazon announced its shortlist for its North American headquarters, or second North American headquarters, and that at least took up the first bit of the show, but we had a lot of fun with the mayor.
It was good. Absolutely. We got a little tidbit on that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You had a lot of fun this past weekend in New York City.
Yes, so I filmed my fourth commercial with Barbara Corcoran, great lady. And so my commercial was supposed to be on Friday last week. Mm-hmm. And so I went to I booked my flight to arrive there for 9:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And normally they have like a group in the morning and a group in the afternoon, but I didn't realize we're redoing some of the previous commercials, and so I should have been there first thing in the morning. And so of course I decide to fly out of Buffalo, and Buffalo there's more snow than there is in Toronto. And they had to de-ice the plane.
Oh, no.
And that took 45 minutes. So I was getting delayed after delayed after delayed. So I was supposed to land in New York at 9:30. And I said, okay, I'm going to be there for 10:30. Fantastic, no problem. So the flight gets delayed. They're circling around New York City. I don't know what it was. And so we land. I ended up at the set at noon.
Oh, wow.
And I banked on 10:30,
right?
And I'm a guy that likes being on time.
So they're all looking at you thinking, who's this guy?
Me. I was killing me on the airplane, and I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, it's just
at that point you're helpless, right?
Well, you can't do anything.
I couldn't control my time now.
Right.
Like I was out of control with I get to the hotel, I get changed, and I'm rolling around. I get to the cab guy. I says, listen, I need to get there fast. He goes, there's only one fast way to get there is by subway. I go, I'm not taking that chance. I go, I don't know the subway system here. Unless you're willing to come with me. I go, you got it.
I'll pay you to come with me.
Yeah, I'll pay you to come with me. And then I'll pay your subway back. But so anyway, I get to the set. It was fine. They were able to, and I was there for probably about 4 hours. 4 hours. It was great. Barbara was fantastic. That I'll tell you, like no drama with this lady. She's a very popular celebrity. No drama. She's a hardworking lady. And she's great to talk to. We always have a little chat, me being Canadian. And it's really good. Very nice lady.
So when can we see that commercial or the new set of commercials on our TV sets?
They'll probably come out within probably in 30 days.
Oh wow,
yeah, within
that's pretty
30
quick.
days. Yeah, the turnaround time's good. And it'll be there'll be some updated stuff on the old commercials. So I've got 4 commercials with this lady. Which is fantastic.
Wow, that's awesome. This is the Hamilton Real Estate Show on 900 CHML. My name's Rick Zamprin, in studio with Rob Golfi and Philip Golfi, sales representatives with ReMax Escarpment Realty, the Golfi team. This being the 100th episode of this show. You're also watching on CHML's Facebook page. Yeah, we're blowing it up a little bit here today in celebration of this milestone. If you have a question for the Golfi team, you can email questions@robgolfi.com. That email address again is questions@robgolfi.com. robgolfi.com. Find them online at robgolfi.com. That's robgolfi.com. You can call them anytime at 905-575-7700. That's 905-575-7700. All over social media, and we'll get to social media a little later on in the program. At Rob Golfi on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out the Rob Golfi Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe to the Hamilton Real Estate Show podcast on Google Play and iTunes. Past episodes on our website at 900chml.com, as well as robgolfi.com. Before we get to some of the big topics that we're going to discuss today, Phil, you wanted to give a shout out to Stelco workers.
Yeah, shout out to the guys at Stelco that listen to the show every Saturday morning. So I had a little stop and chat with a good buddy of mine at the gym, and he's like, "Hey man, I listen to your show every Saturday morning." And I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, all the guys at Stelco, they love it."
Nice.
Right? And then he goes, "They're starting to like your dad a little bit more."
Oh, wait a minute.
I don't know. I think you're winning some fans over. I think they had. I don't know if they didn't like you before or what.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Like the guys over at Stelco. So
was I a little bit too cocky on
I don't know.
on the radio? I don't know.
I think you're one of the most likable guys.
I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
People that know me, they know I'm a nice guy.
I think those workers maybe were having a bad day.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So the guys at Stelco, hopefully we start to get a couple of those deals
There you
coming
go.
our way.
At least you're winning them over.
Oh yeah, and they're good guys. They're good guys.
Yeah, definitely. On the show today, we'll talk about social media and real estate. How important is it? We'll talk about some of the craziest, weirdest, wackiest negotiations that you two guys have been in, including one that involves vegetation. I'll leave it at that. Credit unions not affected by the stress test. Very interesting. We'll get to that a little later on in the show. And is Hamilton becoming less affordable for real estate? But first, we'll start with preventing monster homes being built in Ancaster. Ancaster has some beautiful mansions, has some beautiful regular-sized homes, if you want to call it that too. But now there's an effort underway to prevent these monstrosities, I guess.
They are building a massive homes, and actually, I was in Port Credit about a week and a half ago, and I went to go see my my godparents, and my godmother passed away, so we were just going to do a visit, and I went with my parents. And and we used to go visiting in Port Credit a lot to other family. And I said to my parents, I go, let's take a drive down the street that, we used to see Uncle Tony's place. And so I drive down, and they haven't lived there for probably 30 years, maybe more. And I remember, visiting them on this street. I think it was Pine Street, off the main road in Port Credit. So we're driving down, and I'm like, we couldn't figure out which house it was because a lot of the homes were torn down, and they built these massive homes on these lots. And I'm like, we're trying to figure out, did it have a garage? Yeah, it had a garage. Was it attached, detached? And like we couldn't figure out what the actual address was because the street changed so much.
Wow.
Every other house on that street had a tower. Like it was just this massive 3-story. Big, garage in front and a 3-story square house on it, and it was an unbalance on the street.
Right.
So the street changed, so we couldn't figure out which house it was.
Do you get the sense that, and I see this from time to time too, is that one person will level a house, build something, not maybe in the monster category, but something that sticks out from everything else on the street, and then others kind of follow suit.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
it's almost like a domino effect.
Well, it is up to a certain point, but then after it becomes unaffordable to buy that little house that's next door to that big house.
Yes.
So now you're going to have you're going to have big house, small house, big house, house built from the 50s, house built in the 90s, or let's say the 2015s. So it makes the neighborhood look terrible because you're driving down, you still have that generation that they've been living in their house for 50, 60 years, and they're not leaving until they pass away.
Yeah.
But the problem there is, and it's happening in Ancaster, the person that has that bungalow on that big size lot, they're not going to be able to. They're going to want a lot of money for it. So the buyer is not looking at that house to tear down. It's too expensive now. So
they go from a tear down to a renovation.
Right. So, but the problem there is now you got 4 or 5 houses on the street that these big monster homes, and then you got these small houses, and it just kind of offsets
the aesthetics of the neighborhood. Don't look.
It changes.
Yeah.
It changes, and it's not. It's nice if you can rip down every house and build all new houses. Then the whole neighborhood's the same.
Right.
But it's just there's an unbalance, and then. I think that's what Lloyd Ferguson is trying to figure out. Like, and they were setting these houses either back from the original the lot line, like when the houses they're all lined up the straight line down the street. Now they're not lined up anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These houses, one's set further back. It's just a mismatch of homes now, and it doesn't look good for the neighborhood.
It's really changing the neighborhood, yeah, that's for sure. Here's some stats. So from January 2012 to October 2017, the city says 126 dwellings in Ancaster have been demolished and replaced. Another 31 additions have been built. City Council still has to ratify the changes in their next meeting March 28th, but under the new rules, the maximum height for a new build would be 9.5 meters for a two-story home, down from 10.5. So really it's a difference of 1 meter, which isn't really a lot.
No.
But
you're
right.
It characterizes Ancaster, right? It's what I mean. That's what they.
It's too late now. It's too late.
Those homes are already there. It's their.
But
you know what I mean, it's why people want to move to Ancaster too. Is if you're going to build this big house,
it's that lifestyle.
Yeah,
right?
But you also want to be in a neighborhood that complements your house
right.
too, right? And people look at the neighborhood; they're not just looking at the house. So if you can pull up to a neighborhood and it's a nice, beautiful street with all the houses have nice landscaping and great curb appeal, it makes that house that much more attractive.
Well, we've talked about this from time to time. We only got a couple of minutes in this segment. Is that when you're looking to buy a home on any street, you're also looking at your neighbors and those across the street
Absolutely.
to say, is this a good fit?
Yeah,
Big time.
And think about it. That small house there. If there's two buyers for it. One that's going to buy it and move in, and then the other guy that's going to tear it down. Now, if the market becomes too expensive for that buyer to buy that house to tear down, guess what? It's going to be harder to sell that small house because do I really want this big commercial-looking building next door to me?
Right.
It's just there's that aspect of it, but there's nothing you can do about it. You can't control it. But now they're doing something, but it's still not going to change things. Yeah. It's like you're still going to have this bigger house. I mean, they're changing it by 1 meter, which is 3 feet less. I mean, they're still tall. They're still big. They're putting 12-foot ceilings on each floor on these houses.
Definitely. We got to run. Still to come, we're going to talk about credit unions not being affected by the stress test. And coming up next is Hamilton becoming less affordable for real estate. Find the Golfi team online at robgolfi.com. You can call them anytime at 905-575-7700. You're watching on CHML's Facebook page and listening on 900 CHML. Welcome back. You're listening to the Hamilton Real Estate Show on 900 CHML. You're watching on CHML's Facebook page as well because we are celebrating the 100th episode of the Hamilton Real Estate Show with Rob Golfi and Philip Golfi, sales representatives with ReMax Escarpment Realty, the Golfi team. My name's Rick Samprin. Welcome to the show. We have a host of information we're going to get to, but don't forget to go online to robgolfi.com. That's Rob, Golfi.com. Call them anytime at 905-575-7700 at Rob Golfi on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out the Rob Golfi Facebook page. And don't forget, you can subscribe to the Hamilton Real Estate Show podcast on iTunes and Google Play. And we have a host of things we're going to get to, wild and wacky stories about negotiations, social media, and how that is impacting the real estate world. Coming up in a matter of minutes, credit unions and why they're not affected by the mortgage stress test. But we'll continue our discussion about Hamilton and why it's becoming less affordable for real estate. What's going on?
Well, prices have gone up.
Yeah.
The GTA buyers came here, and it's just like a whole bunch of people came into Hamilton, and they're all competing against each other, and they just raised the prices of Hamilton. And they were saying something that for the average person is at 2 household incomes that has to earn. Is it 94? Is that correct? 94,000 combined income to even afford to purchase a house in
Yeah,
Hamilton? Is that the correct stats?
Yeah, to purchase the average price
average price.
point in Hamilton right now, you need a household income of about $95,000.
Now, the average price is, I'm trying to remember, it's over $500,000.
Yeah, that's combined with Hamilton, Burlington, but then you're at 459,000, I think, just with Hamilton,
including Burlington, it's 552,000.
That's the number
right
now.
Yeah, and it is. There are deals out there now. 3 years ago, the market, you could have bought something in South Central Hamilton, North End of Hamilton, anywhere, and it would have been probably 50 to 100,000 less.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
The market caught up to itself, and now it's becoming more difficult for somebody that's making let's say a husband and wife making not great money, like maybe combined income of 40,000 or maybe let's say 60,000. They're going to struggle. They're going to struggle. There are deals out there. There are, and the problem is you got to be careful when we're selling a house to these couples. You can't sell them a house that needs a lot of work because they're going to go broke. Because houses that need a lot of work, every paycheck's going to go towards fixing something.
Yeah.
And there's a lot, and those are those deals out there. But the problem is, you have to set up a system where they have the mortgage home improvement program, where let's say you buy a house for $275,000, and it needs about $80,000 in renovations. You get the banks to lend them the money. For that $80,000 to do the renovations, and that's part of their mortgage. Now they have to be pre-approved for that extra $80,000,
right.
But at least you're not having to put that money out of your pocket, and try to save up for it just to get that nice kitchen, fix the plumbing, the wiring, whatever. There are good deals out there still. You have to find them, and we got one coming up on in the West End of Hamilton. It's a good deal. The guy just wants it gone. It's a fixer-upper, and it's on a busy street, but it's going to be a good deal. Somebody's probably going to go in, buy it, fix it up, sell it to somebody else,
right.
And for somebody else to move into. But there are good deals out there, everybody. But you just have to be a lot sharper and a lot faster, and you have to have somebody like good agents like the Golfi team. So. Good agents to help you find those little deals out there, and again, we're still competing. Like there's still multiple offers happening out there on homes, and you just got to find the right agent that has the bigger connections out there that can say, hey, there's one coming up. We can get you into this house and help them out, no problem. But again,
it trickles down to the first time home buyers.
Right.
So everybody that's that has equity in the real estate market right now, it's Hamilton looks affordable to those GTA buyers. But if you've been living at home, you can't save as fast as the
market's moving.
You can't save as fast as the market's increasing.
It is tough.
And so if even if somebody's making a lateral move who already owns a house, they've built up that equity the last couple of years, so it's easier for them to make that lateral move. Who gets most affected by these prices right now are the first time home buyers, because they don't have that equity. They don't have that.
They're jumping into a deeper pool,
increase.
Right?
Yeah, they don't have that 18% increase on their bank account.
Right.
Yeah.
Such as the housing market's had in the last 2 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's tougher. It's really tough for the first time buyers.
And then before they had more incentives for first time buyers. And they're taking a lot of those incentives away. I don't know why, but now it's becoming tougher for the first-time buyer to get into the marketplace. Before they had, you can go in with, zero down almost, and you pay back your 5% at a different time. They're taking all those options away. And so they're going to have to bring them back, because there's going to be a point, like transactions are down. From last year. February, based on last year versus this year, in Hamilton, they're down over 50%. And so houses are still selling, no doubt. We had a record year last year. But the thing is, the buyers, did they all buy? Are they waiting to buy? I don't know if it's the weather. Like, I mean, we're all.
But there's only room for regression. Once you hit those record numbers, it's hard. It's going to be hard to beat it again. You know what I mean? So we had one of the hottest real estate markets in the world. Like we were getting, world attention based on our real estate numbers, and there's only room. There's only room for regression.
Right. You mentioned good deal still out there. Is it still traditionally North End, East End, pockets on the mountain? In terms of first-time home buyers?
Yeah, there's you know what the deals are? There's the deal where you have someone that wants to sell their house, and they don't want to deal with all, like, having a sign on the front lawn. They don't want a ton of people coming through, and they
just want the peace of mind.
They just want it sold,
Right,
and they rather have it sold to a nice couple. And the price is a little bit important, but not that important to them. There's those deals out there. There are, and they just don't want, like, all that attention, and they just want a nice smooth, stress-free. If you got some buyers that you can take through that want to buy it, we'll sell it for a decent price. And you don't have to deal with the competition and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. There's those deals out there for sure.
So are those sellers, are they downsizing in most cases?
They're moving either into an old age home, apartment. They're downsizing. The property's becoming too much for them. Right.
So they're more often than not financially comfortable, and they're not really looking to cash in on their house.
Absolutely.
Right.
Financially comfortable. Money is. It doesn't mean anything to them anymore. They worked hard all their life. They saved all their life, and they just want a nice, easy, smooth move. That's it. They don't want 100 people coming through their house. Yeah.
Phil, you were in the banking world way back when, maybe even a couple of years ago, probably. Are banks doing a better job, or lenders doing a better job of realizing a couple's financial situation before they say, hey, you can afford a house that is probably above their means?
Their hands are tied because they have all these government regulations that are implemented on them that it's hard for them to be creative in terms of the financing in the financing world. So as much as they're out there to help people, but they can only they have limitations onto how much they can help somebody, right? So definitely the mortgage home improvement program was one of the most popular things that was going on, but a lot of people were refinancing.
Right.
And when I was in the banking world, everybody was tons and tons of people. It was the time where people were refinancing their house for renovations or refinancing to put in a backyard pool or go on vacation because they had they built up all this equity in their property. Instead of doing a move, they just pull it out and put it back in their house or go on that dream vacation they always wanted to go on or go on or buy that nice car that they always wanted. So it gave people an opportunity to pull that money out and do whatever they wanted to do with it, just because the housing market increased so much.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we going to see a little less of that because the prices have been so high that equity might not be there for at least a few years?
Yeah. So it all depends on the appraisal, right? And I remember last year, March, April, May, the appraisers were having the hardest time in appraising these houses. Even real estate agents, you didn't know what the value of a house was there was a 3-4 week period where we would walk into a house and they'll say, what do you think I can get?
Yeah.
And we're like,
and it was so crazy.
We're like, you know what? If listed at this price, and we'll see, right?
Yeah.
We couldn't tell them what we thought the market. We didn't know the market.
Right.
It was just insane. So the appraisers were having the hardest time appraising houses. They would go to a house and somebody would want to pull out $200,000 and then they'd have to come up with a value for this property. Then one next door sold for $650,000, but everybody knows that house wasn't worth $650,000.
Right. Yeah.
So now he has to go back to the financial institution and say,
hey,
you know what,
yeah,
and then there's that debate. They're saying, well, that one sold for $650,000. Mine has a finished basement. I want $700,000. But the appraiser's saying, that's not a true market value for your property. So that's that's kind of what happened in the U.S. as these appraisals got so far out of control. And people were borrowing against their house, and that's kind of what created that bubble. Yeah. Now, we have much more strict guidelines when it comes to appraisal. The appraisal companies in Canada are very regulated. They're very, a lot. They're they're a
lot more buttoned down.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is, those appraisals don't come in at egregious numbers, right? And I think it's a good thing.
Oh, it's definitely a good thing, that's for sure. So if Hamilton is becoming less affordable, where are some of those first-time home buyers going if they can't get here? Are they going to Brantford? Are they looking at St. Catharines?
Brantford,
it depends,
they're going to Niagara. Niagara's starting to pick up. So Niagara picked up last year after the real estate boom that happened in Hamilton, more so because all of a sudden people were like, "Whoa, we can't afford this." But even in 2016, like Niagara didn't get those multiple offers till way after Hamilton did.
right.
They were like, we were doing deals in
Yeah.
Niagara, and we had agents call us like, how do you guys do this? Like they were
couldn't
told
believe it.
they
couldn't. We were getting 14, 15 offers on listings, and they're like, "Are you serious?"
Wow.
Yeah,
Like,
and
they could not
we were
believe it.
we were setting up deals out there, and they couldn't believe it. Like, how do you guys set this up? Like they never saw this before,
Right.
and
normally for them it would be 2-3 calls, maybe.
yeah, like they would just list the house,
traditional, yeah.
get 5 people, 10 people going
Right,
through.
right,
They
right,
get
right.
an offer, and we would just set it up and say, no offers for 5 days, and we get like 30, 50 people through,
Yeah.
Wow.
and then we get like 10 offers. Yeah.
But their spring market last year lasted a lot longer than ours.
Yes.
Right.
They carried off in well into the summer.
That's
and I
right.
remember, we had some carryover, some buyers going in through Niagara, and they were still holding offers, and I was like,
And Niagara, and
I
they
go-
were getting them.
and-
They
yeah,
were getting
and there
them.
were 4 or 5 offers
Yeah. Wow.
late
Yeah.
into the summer.
Yeah.
So
it's like the ripple effect. You
yeah.
throw
Yeah.
a rock in the water. It was still happening in Niagara.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Just looking at a chart from, I guess this is from Zoocasa, the Canadian real estate website, brokerage based in Toronto, just on the average price of homes. We talk about $552 in Hamilton. Out in Vancouver, it's still over $1 million. Fraser Valley, almost $800,000. The GTA, $751. Okanagan was $509. Victoria, $642. I'm not sure what kind of jobs they have in BC, but holy cow. Oakville at $719. Durham at $591. Vancouver Island again at $459. And Milton at $719,000. And Milton, just a couple of years ago, was one of the fastest growing cities in the nation.
Mattamy Homes owns
Look at
so
that.
much land out there.
Yeah, oh, man.
There's no room to build anymore.
Well, that's the thing, too.
They're taking off to Guelph now.
Well,
And you can't touch the
their
green belt.
population.
No,
I think isn't it quadruple
Yeah,
or
it
more?
was
Oh, it
insane.
just
It was like
exploded.
overnight. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
overnight.
Yeah, they couldn't
Like you
handle
don't
that
even
growth.
recognize Milton anymore.
No, yeah, it's a much different place. Let's go to this topic, which is a very interesting one. We've been talking about the mortgage stress test for months and months now, really. It's now a
Yeah.
reality, came in on January 1st. Credit unions, however, are not affected by this.
Yeah, so this is a little mortgage hack. It's not something that they're advertising. It's not something that's out there. It's not something that a lot of people know.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're provincially legislated, they're not affected, and they do not have to practice using the stress test when they're approving clients for a mortgage.
Okay.
So right now, your First Ontario's, your Meridian Credit Union, they do not have to abide by the mortgage stress test right now.
and I think
that's
the
just
teachers-
right now.
I think the-
yeah,
even-
the teachers credit
Teachers
union
credit
does not
union?
either.
Yeah.
So and now you're probably wondering if this is such a competitive advantage for them, why aren't they advertising it?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the competition bureau would come down so hard on them and legislate them right away if they started advertising it.
Right.
But we do have clients that if they cannot qualify and they're close within a 2%, we've seen them. We've passed them over to a credit union. We've recommended a credit union, and we've got them approved. And it's a very small difference, but it's the difference between somebody getting approved for a house and somebody not.
Or getting that that $680,000 house versus having to buy a $550,000 house. They can actually buy that $680,000 house through the credit
They
union.
have a lot more buying power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But right now, they do have like a 7-day wait.
It's longer than 7 days.
They're 7 to 8 days. It's packed.
Yeah,
So it's,
they've got.
there's lineups
They're
and-
busy. They're
yeah,
busy.
That's
yeah.
because so many people have realized they don't have the stress test
Exactly.
and they're going.
Yeah. A lot
Wow.
of it's
That's
it's
because
getting,
of us
it's getting,
talking on the radio, talking about it.
It's,
Word of mouth
it's
is-
getting out there.
Yeah.
We've known about this for about a month, and we've passed a variety of clients, a
Yeah.
number of clients over to the credit unions and suggested, hey, listen, go talk to a Meridian or a First Ontario
Right.
mortgage agent. They'll help you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're that close, if you're that close, it's 100% worth having
Yeah.
a conversation.
Do you think people are reluctant just by nature because, we have big banks in Canada, right? There's solidity there, credibility.
Yeah.
Is there a hesitation to go to a credit
No,
union?
I think credit unions are becoming way popular. Way
they're-
more popular.
They're
than
more
they
like
ever.
the ma and pa type. They're more. I mean, all the banks are good, but the
Yeah.
a
credit
little less
unions-
corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah, little
Right.
exactly, and actually they can make decisions a lot quicker on things than the bigger banks can.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the craziest, weirdest stories involving negotiations. We'll also talk about social media and real estate and how important is it. You're listening to the Hamilton Real Estate Show, and you're watching on CHML's Facebook page on 900 CHML. Welcome back. This is the Hamilton Real Estate Show on 900 CHML. My name's Rick Samprin, in studio with Rob Golfi and Philip Golfi, sales representatives with ReMax Escarpment Realty, the Golfi Team. We are celebrating our 100th episode of the Hamilton Real Estate Show today, and because of that, we are celebrating on Facebook as well. You're watching on CHML's Facebook page. Hello to all our viewers out there. RobGolfi.com is the website. That's Rob, Golfi.com. You can call them anytime at 905-575-7700 at Rob Golfi on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out the Rob Golfi Facebook page as well. Don't forget, subscribe to the Hamilton Real Estate Show podcast on iTunes and Google Play. We've had, well, this is now show 100. You have 99 shows to choose from on the podcast. If you have a question for the Golfi team, you can go to questions at robgolfi.com. Again, that's questions at robgolfi.com. Still to come, social media and real estate. How important is it? But let's switch gears and have a little fun on the program. I mean, we usually do anyways. But negotiations. You guys are involved in negotiations all the time. I'm sure there have been many instances. And
people get creative.
I teased one of them about vegetation.
People get creative. Sometimes, and sometimes the littlest things can become a big part of the deal, either making it or breaking it.
So what are some of the craziest, wildest, wacky stories you guys have?
First? You go first.
So appliances.
I like Phil's, really.
Appliances have become...
Why are appliances so...
It's just, like, not as much now, but before, somebody, just got their, their fridge or their stove, and the buyer says, if I don't get that fridge, I don't want the house.
But sometimes the seller wants to take it, and it sounds like such a good idea.
Yeah.
At the time of the agreement, they're like, you know what? I got these high-end stainless steel appliances.
Right.
I'm taking them with me. Right.
So you have to move it.
And I'm saying it sounds really or it sounds really good now.
Yeah.
But on closing date, when you're trying to haul out your fridge down your front steps, you're
regretting it.
Big time.
Yeah.
And big time. And when it ends up at your new house with a huge scratch and a dent and it doesn't work.
Yeah. There's always issues that way.
It's hilarious because, we just talked about the average price in Hamilton being over $500,000 and you're negotiating, over an appliance that's, a couple thousand.
The biggest appliance that is always an issue, and this is even till today, is the washer and dryer. Not leaving my washer and dryer. And I'm like, okay, no problem. It's like, washer and dryers, they've become, you got the nice red ones, you got the silver Samsung
I got a set, let me tell you. I mean, there's so many things on these stupid washer and dryers, and I call them stupid because you don't use half the things that they do.
No,
now they're into like these they got these touch screens and these bells and whistles to let you know when it's done, and you can watch it on your phone now.
It's ridiculous.
So, you know what? I'll tell you something. For guys that are moving out on their own, they should have perfect for the guy washing machine or dryer because
has a start and
exactly.
That's all you need.
It's like what is all this computer stuff?
Same with the fridge too. I don't care what's in my fridge. I know what's in my fridge. Just keep it cool.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, I know. But the washer and dryer.
Yeah, we've seen deals like fall apart. Like
they go
$800,000-$900,000 houses, and they're negotiating over a wash
and you're trying
or bar stools. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Some people, we want the 4 bar stools on the island, and the seller says, no, I'm keeping them.
Yeah.
And then you go back and forth about these 4 bar stools that you can probably go get at HomeSense for $200.
Is it the emotional attachment?
It's the emotion. No, it's the emotional. It's winning the deal. It's winning the deal. So sometimes you have to let those deals sleep overnight. And then sometimes
you have to kick in and say, okay,
or sometimes you got to make it happen.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
never let the deal die. Never let the deal die.
You have to be careful what you want to have past that night or do it that night because the next morning somebody wakes up. Nah, I'm not interested anymore. I don't want the deal. I've seen it happen.
So you had a story about TVs. There was a deal.
Yeah, we thought we were going to lose a deal over a couple of TVs. It was $1 million house, and so we were like,
these TVs made of gold.
I was concerned.
I thought it was done. I said this deal's done.
Yeah, but it did come together. It did come together. But yeah, like I'm telling you, like TVs, you got the brackets and the TV mounted, and it looks good. You got.
Is that considered a chattel? Because it's screwed in.
The wall mount. The wall mount is. The wall mount is the TV.
The
TV's not.
Unless it's hanging on there, but you always got to write it in whether it's the TV's included or excluded.
Really? Eh?
Usually,
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to. We always tell people just are you okay with the TVs? Are you okay with this?
Yeah.
And people write it in. But the wall mounts used to cost like $350.
Yeah.
They don't cost
they
that
did,
much
no.
anymore.
They used to be so expensive.
Remember how expensive they were?
Oh,
the
yeah.
ones on the swindle, if you can move
Yep.
it, it's an extra $200.
Oh, I know.
How often do you need to move your TV?
It's going to keep it in one place.
Came out with these prices of these wall mounts?
They made a killing, though.
Oh, no kidding.
yeah.
But yeah, no, those are a big factor. The TVs, the drapery. Sometimes some of the older generation. No, I'm taking my drapery with me, and they're moving into a house that has no window that will even match this drapery. But I want to,
Wow, they just want to take it. Phil, you had a story about vegetation.
Yeah, so I had a this one was interesting, but I had a buyer who bought a house and I had a couple of marijuana plants in the backyard. Mm-hmm. And he wanted me to include these plants on the agreement of purchase and sale.
Yeah.
That'll get you 5 to 10 years in jail.
So he said, Phil, you think they're going to leave the plants?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what plants? He goes, the ones in the back. I'm like, yeah, probably. He goes, no, but they're marijuana plants. He's like, you think they'll leave them? And I looked at him, I go, why, you want them? He goes, yeah.
Wow.
He goes, tell him. He goes, put it in the agreement that he has to leave those plants. And I'm like,
actually, that's considered trading in marijuana.
And it wasn't a big. It wasn't like it was only.
Paper.
It was. I think it was only 2 or 3 plants. I didn't even recognize them. I didn't even see them. He must have saw them when we walked through the property and noticed them, but I didn't. And it was. It wasn't like there was some crazy grow up with this, hydro panel and the lights.
Sure.
It was just a couple casual plants and he wanted them.
So did he buy the house?
So he ended up buying the house. I told him, I said, I'll give you after the agreement's closed, I'll give you his number.
Right.
And you guys can kind of
figure
negotiate
it
on
out.
your own behalf
Wow.
for this situation.
I don't want to get you in trouble, so maybe we'll just leave it at that.
I can't.
There's a lot of marijuana plants growing in gardens out there
Really,
right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll leave that to another show.
It's so funny. Sometimes they get so creative. You get you see the chicken wire around the plants. And stuff.
They're tomato plants.
Exactly.
When we come back, social media and real estate. How important is it? You're listening to the Hamilton Real Estate Show on 900 CHML. Last go round here on the Hamilton Real Estate Show on 900 CHML. My name's Rick Zamprin, in studio with Rob Golfi and Philip Golfi, sales representatives with ReMax Escarpment Realty, the Golfi team. You can call them anytime at 905-575-7700. RobGolfi.com is the website. That's Rob, Golfi.com. At Rob Golfi on Instagram and Twitter. Check out the Rob Golfi Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to the Hamilton Real Estate Show podcast on Google Play and iTunes. Past episodes are on robgolfi.com and 900chml.com. If you have a question for the Golfi team, anything real estate related or vegetation related, I'm sure Phil can help you out. Questions at robgolfi.com is the website. That's questions at robgolfi.com. This is the 100th episode of the Hamilton Real Estate Show, so we're saying hello to all our friends on our CHML Facebook page as well, as we celebrate the big 100. Social media and real estate, how important is it?
It's huge. It's massive right now. So Facebook right now is actually developing a real estate platform. So what a lot of agents do is, we have our own Facebook page, or if you're friends with me, you might see some of my listings on my personal page, and we do it that way. But Facebook right now is actually developing a platform that's going to be like a realtor.ca, like a homefinder.ca, where they're automatically going to have a generation of all the listings on the market.
So is this similar to their marketplace that they have right now?
Very
now
similar.
It's like a Kijiji,
exactly,
basically. Okay.
Exactly, but they're going to make a real estate marketplace. And,
Wow.
and I've seen, if you go online, if you just kind of search it up, you can see some of the plans of what they're trying to do. They've launched pilot programs in certain cities in the U.S., smaller cities, and Facebook is actually going to be a huge hub for looking at real estate listings. And they've got really creative based on your interests, based on using your information and picking houses for you, right? And if you have your workplace there, it'll say this is only 25 minutes from your work, and they've gotten given using the information that we've given them on our Facebook profile. Yeah. They've gotten so creative.
Their algorithm is really
it's unbelievable. So it's going to be a huge marketplace for real estate. and we're going to be a part of it. We're going to be one of the the pilot projects with it in
Excellent.
Canada. So it's going to be really exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of obviously the Rob Golfi Facebook page is you guys have so much info on there, great pictures, photos, the drone videos of people's homes.
I think it was like a year and a half ago. We kind of sat down and said, let's go where we understand that the print advertising is slowly dying, and let's go to where people are, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people have if you go to a lot of realtors' Facebook pages, their last post is 3 months ago or whatever.
Right.
So we're constantly updating ours every day. And I think when people kind of do a whole thorough search on us when they're trying to choose a real estate agent, if they come across our Facebook page, it's updated every day, 3, 4, 5 posts a day.
Right.
We have giveaways, we have contests. And we have just good information, good content. We're not really sharing other people's content.
Yeah.
We're creating our own content. And I think there's some value on our page, and people like that, right?
Definitely.
So it's when people are coming to your page for that, that value. It's a good sign.
We didn't realize Facebook, they rank different categories, and we didn't realize there was a real estate rankings for Facebook pages, and we found out. We I guess about 3-4 years ago we were ranking in the top 10 for engaging in Facebook real estate page, but we actually now I think we rank number one because we engage our engagement with the public out there,
and it doesn't just go like based on amount of followers or likes or whatever. It's in terms of people actually visiting your page and engaging, commenting, liking,
engaging with us,
which is most important. Right? It's most important.
When did you realize that social media, Facebook, YouTube, all that comes with it, was working for you? Was there an aha moment? Was it a client that said, "Hey, I saw your Facebook page"?
We get it all the time now.
It was about 3. It started kicking in. We knew about 3 years ago, maybe even less, that if you're not doing it, you are going to fall behind
quickly,
so fast, and. It's just
before we were just doing it because every conference or every mastermind group you went to, they said you got to do this Facebook thing, you got to do this Facebook thing, and we're kind of like, okay. So before we were just doing it just because they said we were doing it. Now we got really invested in it, and we've we've developed a couple dynamic strategies that's appealing to our clients. Where when we put their listing up on Facebook, it gets a ton of attention.
Well, I was going to say it's not only marketing what you do, but it's marketing the homes that you're trying to sell.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. And sometimes other realtors, they'll just have homes. Right. And it's just like, okay, you're just going to throw these homes at me, throw them at me. But we want, it was one of our goals to create content, and content was one of the most important things to us. And definitely the show helps. So every one of our shows gets, uploaded to our Facebook page as well, and it's good.
Excellent. In terms of monthly users, Facebook's still number one, followed by YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Facebook Messenger, and web chat or WeChat. Facebook still the king, despite some of the recent controversy involving, U.S. presidential elections and the like.
I know.
But it's still,
still the number one platform.
Yeah,
where
a good platform that you guys want to be
on. Yeah. And Facebook actually, they changed their algorithm in stating that, they're going to try and get those fake news stories out of the news feed. They're going to try and get, in some of the, the business posts, they're going to try and get them out, the business sponsored posts. So, it's going to be interesting to see how Facebook adapts to that and how we have to adapt to that to ensure that, we're still on the forefront and getting that engagement. But Facebook has themselves in he lost like $5 billion of his net. Imagine that, waking up.
50.
Was it 50?
Yeah, 50.
Mark Zuckerberg lost $50 billion
in market capitalization.
On Facebook, just because of this.
It's a lot of dough. But he's a billionaire.
He doesn't care about money, apparently.
No, he's got too
much. Donates 99.9% of it.
Yeah.
But so
we got to run, guys. 100th happy anniversary once again. Here's to another 100 episodes, and we'll be along for the ride, and hopefully our listeners will be too. Thanks for listening to the Hamilton Real Estate Show. We're back next Saturday at 9 on 900 CHML.